Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And I gotta say, a solid episode of NXT tonight. It was hyped up as having a double main event. Bianca Belair versus Nikki Cross, and Adam Cole versus EC3. We'll be sure to give our thoughts about those matches as the review progresses. So we had the double main event, an excellent opening segment. It's very rare that we do talking segments to open up in NXT, but I actually felt like this came off rather well. A debuting new tag team that I'm already in love with, and I personally can't wait to talk about tonight on this review. That's going to be kind of the high point for me.
I knew you would love them, yeah.
Yeah, dude, so good. And so a lot to talk about, but before we really take the deep dive, I'm going to hand it over to my cohort and commentary. Ashton, what do you think about NXT tonight, brother?
This was a really well done show. I love, there were a few things that I loved on this show. I actually am going to choose not to talk more about them right now. We'll talk about them when we get to them, but there was a lot on this show that I loved. And really, I don't think that there was any on the show that I didn't at least like. So it was a really strong show, and I think that kind of spoils our first segment here a little bit too.
Absolutely. Heat of the night. No heats tonight for me. You?
Hey, when was the last time we did have a heat of the night? It's crazy. I feel like
I can't even, yeah. We, call us the new day because we got that power of positivity. So you got no heats tonight. So I'm guessing you have no heats tonight, then just to confirm on your end.
Correct.
All right, then let us get right into our NXT review. And we open up with Johnny Wrestling. Yes, he's the one leading this talking segment here. And he pretty much says that, 2018 was fine, but he learned two things that year that he's taking with him to 2019. And there are only two things that matter: wins and championships. It doesn't matter if you're a good person. Doesn't matter if you tried your best. All that matters in the final analysis is wins and championships. He then kind of transitions to talking about, the win he got over Aleister Black at the steel cage and said, look, that moment I shared with Tommaso Ciampa, that meant nothing. That's what we hear with every sordid affair. And he says, it'll never happen again. He's still a piece of garbage with a championship that I want. But he mentions how Ciampa kind of talked about this vision of Gargano with the North American Championship. And Johnny straight up says, look, if I want the North American Championship, I'll take it. So I'm going to pump the brakes before I proceed any further. What do you think about the sentiments here of Johnny Wrestling in our opening NXT segment?
Yeah, he's definitely got a new air of arrogance about him. And the fact that he's even being inspired in any way by Tommaso Ciampa's words might suggest that he's a little bit more involved or maybe feels a little bit more than nothing towards Ciampa than he's letting on.
Oh, absolutely. You can say it didn't mean anything, but the PCS you two shared says otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Ricochet comes out dressed to the nine. I'll tell you, and I'll even say this before we get into what he actually said. I really enjoyed Ricochet here. And seeing him with that belt over his shoulder in the suit and how he spoke, I still don't think he has the best speaking voice. To me, it doesn't match like the incredible stuff he can do in the ring. But as far as like what he says in his delivery, I feel like that's on point. I like how he says to Johnny, like, oh, if you're going to take my North American Championship, you're going to take it now. And Johnny's just kind of smirking like, well, yeah, I am Johnny Wrestling and all. And Ricochet's like, well, when you do decide to take it, are you going to do it to my face? Or are you going to jump me from behind in the parking lot? Kind of taking a shot at, what he did to Aleister Black.
I think that's another really good example of just improved promo ability from Ricochet, because I feel like there would have been less elegant ways to word that would have sounded less cool. Like if he would have actually said like the words like you did to Aleister Black, it would have felt more corny to me. It would have felt more forced. But he, the way that he put that was really elegant in the sense that he painted a picture and let everyone else kind of arrive at their own conclusions about what he was implying. I love it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't insult your audience, which I think is a good thing for a promo to have.
Yeah, it's like one of those situations where, like, if somebody hadn't been watching for the last year, they would be lost, but that's okay because, like, they can catch up.
Exactly. Like, Ricochet knows the audience he's speaking to, and so he, trusts them to connect the dots, which is nice. Then we get a surprise interruption from Ciampa Daddy. I mean, Ricochet may be bald, but there's only one beautiful bald fuck in NXT as far as I'm concerned. It's Daddy Ciampa. And Ashton, what did you think about Daddy Ciampa's opinions this week?
Well, as usual, he is very much on point, talking about how basically, you know what? I'm not even going to say what he talked about because what he really was doing was just trying to egg Johnny and Ricochet on, like trying to encourage them, like, yeah, you guys should totally fight. You guys need to go against each other. And Johnny, you need to win that championship over there away from Goldie.
Yeah, exactly. And Johnny just tells him more or less, like, shut up and stay out of it, okay? And Ciampa's got this look on his face like, did that PCS mean nothing to you? And they're still like working some stuff out. But then this segment goes from good in my mind to great. Because
yes.
Actually, dude, I know you were really enthused about this. I'm going to let you take the reins on this before I give my opinion. So we'll kind of flip the script.
No, dude, I just absolutely adore Aleister Black's kind of vibe since his return from injury. He has been so good. I mean, the atmosphere, even the promos, I feel like, even if he isn't like as like fluent or elegant as like Ricochet was earlier, his sort of delivery and the aura around him and the atmosphere created by his character completely negates any awkwardness that might come from him not being a native English speaker,
Yeah.
And, like, he's just so on point, and the presentation is so amazing. And he shows up and basically says, like, listen, Tommaso, I really hope you're not more concerned with your pet dog over there, Johnny Gargano, more concerned with him than you are me, because I'm the imminent threat to your championship. I love it, man.
Yeah. I've said it once and I'll say it again. He's this generation's Undertaker. There's just a way that this guy carries himself. And like you said, it really all started when he came back from the injury. It's like something set
It's like he's brand
him.
new again, because this is the similar, it's kind of similar to the way that we felt about him when he first showed up, except rather than having to work his way up through like squash matches against jobbers, he's immediately inserted into the main event, and it's this big deal.
Exactly. And dude, that whole tagline, like, fade to black.
Yes.
If I'm right, that's
the new rest in peace. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because like I was even watching a few days ago, like, clips of Undertaker's feuds between 04 and 08, where he was like seemingly unstoppable on the Blue brand. And yeah, like, rest in peace and all those promos and the mind games. And he even kind of pulled a bit of an Undertaker trick because he starts out on the Tron, but then the lights go out and they come back on and he's standing behind Ciampa. I'm telling you, dude, aesthetically, this guy has got it. He's got a presence where, like, especially with this recent run, like you and I have been talking about post-injury, where he's on the scene and you know somebody's getting fucked up, or at the very least something big is about to happen. Because he goes on the attack on Ciampa and it gets crazy. He follows Ciampa on the announce table, which I like. I like that this is a babyface that does not let his heel get away for any reason. And he chases Ciampa out. I almost wish we would have had a camera follow them. But, it's always good to leave stuff to the imagination. And Ricochet seems to approve, being a babyface. He's like, yeah, Black, kick his ass. And Gargano, just out of nowhere, super kicks Ricochet, lays him out. We get slight, like, Johnny Badass chants. Crowd seems a bit divided. Some are definitely buying into the heel turn and, like, turning against Johnny. Others are still kind of liking this new edge to him. And, Ricochet gets laid out. Again, I thought for an opening segment that kind of relied on talking, which I usually kind of bemoan on the main roster, one, it's not a device that NXT uses often. So I can definitely give him a mulligan on it, especially when it came off as good as this. And I think, again, Aleister Black elevated it from a good segment to a great segment. I really loved what Aleister in particular did here. Do you have any kind of rounding out thoughts, any concluding thoughts on this whole thing?
No, dude, I just agree with everything you said. I already said my piece. Let's move on. Up next, we got our first match of the night, Bianca Belair versus Nikki Cross. This was a really well done match, and I love that Nikki Cross is effectively going on her back in an effort to put over the number one contender for the women's championship. Great
Yes.
part. I love that this is also the conclusion of a feud in a way, because this is Bianca's first win over Nikki, like proper actual win over Nikki. I just love everything about this. This is so well done.
This was business done right. You know, I mean, that's really what I can say about it. They had a callback to their first match when, you know, Nikki was kind of on Bianca, kind of with the sleeper kind of thing, just all on her. And she backdrops her onto the steel ramp. That was great. I like that it wasn't a fluky, you know, count on or whatever. She beat Nikki clean in the middle of that ring. And Bianca's really coming into her own. I love the finisher, the KOD. It's great. Both women looked good in there. That's the thing with Nikki. You know, she's solid in ring. Never take that away from her. And I think she stuck around in NXT long enough to really be that veteran and that legitimizer in the division. And her and Bianca cross paths at the perfect time, because you know my biggest criticism in the last few weeks when we speak about, like, when was the last time we were really negative on the NXT product, was that her last match with Nikki didn't have a definitive finish because it was Alistair's return and all that. And Bianca just kind of looked like an afterthought to me. The idea that she goes from that to beating Nikki in the middle of the ring does wonders for Bianca. And anybody that had any residual doubts about, oh, well, could she really face Shayna Baszler? You know, hopefully they were kind of put to bed. I'm still really looking forward to that match. In fact, if I'm being honest, that is definitely one of the matches I'm looking most forward to at TakeOver Phoenix is Bianca Shayna. I think the whole card is really shaping up to be good given what we know we're getting. And yeah, man, I just thought this was good shit. Bianca gets the win. She moves on to Shayna, and I think it's going to be a really fun matchup. So we'll see.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Shayna versus Bianca is going to be really interesting, and really, I'm kind of curious to see if they try and kind of, you know, kind of try to get the audience to cheer for one or the other going into it. Like, you would expect that they would go out of their way to try and get the crowd to cheer for Bianca going into it, because when you have like a heel versus heel situation, but one of them's the champion, you naturally want your audience to be more behind the challenger, so they're more likely to want to see the match because they think, oh, the title might change hands kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't really seem like they're really making any effort to try and get people to cheer Bianca at all.
No, because we even got some overrated chants in this match. You know, the crowd is definitely a bit
split. Did we? See, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, we did get some overrated. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a good portion of the crowd that's buying into Bianca, which is really cool to see, you know, with the EST chants. But there was a pocket that said overrated. And the only reason I even mention it is you never know if a pocket becomes a swarm. You know, it could be the start of maybe a more negative trend for Bianca, but I think her in-ring stuff's looking good. I'm really excited she's getting the spot. I've been looking for her to really be put in that position, to have her ability tested on that level, the same way I feel like Dream got tested at TakeOver War Games 2. And for my money, passed with flying colors. It was my match of the year. We'll see, you know, if Bianca can rise to the occasion and see if she can be like a future torchbearer of a women's division. And yeah, I felt like this match with Nikki was solid. And yeah, definitely, as far as the double main event goes, I definitely really enjoyed this match. So good stuff.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well, I guess we can move on then. Our next segment was Street Profits. We had Angelo Dawkins doing some beatboxing with Montez rapping over it. I got to tell you, man, it seems like everything these guys do, Montez knocks it out of the park and Angelo finds a way to be mediocre, because even Angelo's beatboxing is unimpressive, whereas Montez's rapping was quite impressive.
Yeah, dude, I'm so like divided on Street Profits because
did you see our chat?
No, let me see. Oh, yeah, obligatory. Yeah. Where
does it come from? I don't get it.
I don't know, and he's never gonna answer us because that's the only message he gives. But anyway, I'm so divided. I'm so divided on them because you know, like I love what Montez has gotten there, and I wish he'd be more of a priority and more of a focus, like, away from this tag team. But then again, you know, Angelo Dawkins, like, I think what disappoints me about Angelo Dawkins is, like, he's been here forever, and you're seeing people make adjustments. Like, hell, even Kona Reeves wasn't always the finest, right? Like, he's gone through at least a few gimmicks by now, and even though I still hate the son of a bitch, at least he knows, like, why he's here, to keep up with the fine-tuning, to find something that works. Now, obviously, this is just one man's opinion. Crowd definitely seems to be into both of these guys. But I mean, let's be honest here. If they were to split up tomorrow, who do you think the crowd's going to gravitate to more? I personally think that the answer is Montez Ford. I think he's got that natural charisma. And yeah, I don't really care for these segments. I never have. I have to say, in the whole tag division, I know there are people that may not like Forgotten Sons, but I actually like Forgotten Sons more than these guys. Like Montez Ford to me is the tag team. So, but they essentially laid on the gauntlet. 2019 is going to be their year. They're coming for the tag titles. They're coming for Undisputed Era. I mean, it sounds good. They've cut this promo before when there were other tag champions. Like, oh, we're going to get the titles. It's never happened. Maybe they'll win the Tag Team Classic in 2019. Who freaking knows? All I know is that I'm just counting down the days till Montez Ford goes into singles competition. And, you know, Angelo Dawkins, I don't know, could just be a jobber at NXT live events or something. But
you know what, though, I do got to say, I actually did kind of enjoy this segment. I felt like they did well given what they had to work with, because this felt very, very improvised, which is a rare thing in WWE these days. Most WWE anything is going to be heavily scripted, and this felt to me like maybe they got, you know, bullet points, but really it felt mostly improvised to me.
Right.
So I just want to give them credit for that, because even if you weren't super impressed by the promo in general, which I do think it was a solid promo. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but at the very least, I do want to give them credit for this being most likely improvised and feeling improvised, even if it necessarily wasn't. I guess that's not a good thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I mean, let me just say this too, whether it connects with people or not. And, you know, again, I'm going to be honest, I really wasn't feeling it. I mean, again, I thought Montez Ford did fine, but I'm more with you. Like Angelo Dawkins, and when he started speaking, like, oh, you know, Street Profit TV is the best, and I just felt like it went on too long, and I was getting annoyed. I'm like, okay.
Well, and I think that was kind of what made me feel like it was so improvised, though, was that like they were taking a few seconds to figure out what they wanted to say and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know, to me, I will say though, whether you were receptive to it or not, in the case of myself, I hope it was bullet points. Like, you've got to let these people, you're not always going to find your voice in the first promo. For some people, it really is a stumbling thing, you know, and it's going to take a lot of work. But I'd rather see that process than people be too afraid to try. Like, I want to see people go through the process. I want to see them find their voice. May not be a voice for me. That's totally okay. You know, I'm not going to tell them that, oh, I think they're missing something or they need to find something. You know, some voices just don't resonate. That's totally cool. You know, and I'm rooting for the Street Profits, you know, and I think in their minds they found their voice, and Full Sail certainly agrees, you know, and I think that's good for them. It's just, I kind of know what I want out of these two, so we'll see if it ever happens. But yeah, maybe they will be NXT Tag Team Champions this year. You never know, dude. That division, it could. I mean, once Undisputed Era drops it, I feel like it's an open fucking field. So we'll see. But yeah, this promo was definitely more unique from other installments of Street Profit TV. And yeah, we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I thought this was a pretty solid promo. You know, felt improvised, that kind of thing. I liked the opening doors kind of thing that they did, where they tried to open two doors and they were both locked, and then they opened the third one. They're just like, see, that's what we're gonna do in 2019. We're gonna be opening doors. I thought that was a pretty cool little, like,
yeah, that was nice,
physical analogy kind of thing.
Absolutely.
All right, so then we got into our second match, which I know you are going to want to just go on and on about, so I'll try and get my shit out first.
Absolutely.
Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel versus a team where I didn't catch the first guy's name. I think it was Kunzman or something like that. And his tag partner was, I think, Stanley Watts. I hope I got those names right. I always like to give credit to performers, even if they're not well-known names in NXT or anything like that. But they, you know, Marcel Bartel is special, and Eichner is solid. He's like a little mini Cesaro as far as like the fact that he's got a good look with the bald head, and he's got some chest hair going on now, which is new. And now, of course, we've also got the athleticism that he brings to the table and the power and all that cool stuff. But don't get me twisted, brother. Marcel Bartel is the star of this team. Seriously, like, Eichner does some cool stuff. Bartel, everything he does is so fucking crisp.
I tweeted that exact sentiment, dude. Yes.
Dude,
yes.
He is so smooth in the ring. Like, I know that you don't necessarily like the idea of comparing anyone to Benoit, but like, he's given me a little bit of like the Benoit vibes in the ring, honestly.
I mean, I kind of got that, dude. I'll let you have that one, honestly.
Wow. I'm
Dude,
surprised you would. That's actually
no, dude.
honestly.
Dude, because you again, we talk about the synchronization that you and I have been having lately. That I'm thinking is going to go a very disturbing sci-fi route. But I really like Bartel. I tweeted that everything he did. In fact, let me even read the tweet that I had. And also, I said also specifically to focus on Marcel. I love that European style technical wrestling, and everything he does looks so good. Am I a fan? Yeah. Does the NXT tag division stand a chance? 9. So I definitely was playing on the whole thing he's got going. But no,
I love it. Yes.
yeah, dude, I am such a fan. Okay, so let me kind of bring some coherence to my fandom here. Because the one concern I have, I don't want these guys to be exclusive to NXT UK. And I know they just competed on an episode of NXT, but they are still more of an embryonic team. When they become more established, I don't want them to be like an NXT UK commodity. However, that said, I may be a big enough fan of these guys that I would tune in anyway and, kind of watch it and check them out. 2, agree with everything you said about Marcel, but I do want to give credit where credit's due because I want to be better about this in the new year. I don't want to put it all on one guy. It takes 2. How Watts sold that throat chop, Jesus Christ, dude, that bump he took off that shit, it looks so freaking good. That was
that's
like
a good point. We do have to give some credit to the guys making the stars look good.
Oh yeah, they definitely, dude. They made these guys look fantastic, and unlike you, I remembered Watts' name, and I'm going to assume that you got the other guy's name right. I mean, they did their job, especially Watts. Like he really stood out to me, probably because he also took the double team finish.
Yeah, he was the smaller one of the 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude.
Okay.
Just Fabian Eichner now, just kind of transition him because you articulated Marcel perfectly, and I'm just so happy that he's getting an opportunity because I've wanted him to do shit since I think Keith Lee was his opponent when he debuted. And I've wanted him to do stuff since because I think everything he does, like you said, looks so crisp and so good in there. Eichner, I've been a fan of for a long time. I know a lot of people say like mini Cesaro, and I certainly get where that comes from, but I think he's kind of a synthesis between like a Cesaro and a Nice, where he just seems like really well-rounded to me. And I don't know, though, about his personality, which is why I think a tag team is such a snug fit. Because even with Marcel, you can tell that there is a personality there from the Keith Lee debut, because that's where the 9 shit came from. So he's thinking on his feet. I don't know if Eichner has that ability, but just being cautious and saying no, a tag team, again, is a perfect first thing for him to do. And his power game is so fun to watch. When he popped up Watts for what was presumably going to be a up power bomb, he got him so freaking high, again, making the team look good. And then when he tried like the Rana counter and he picked him up and did all that, like it was great. It was great. Eichner looked awesome. And the double team finish, because I'll be honest with you, I forget what the original sequence was that they hit. I know like Bartel got a PK in at one point, but I don't know the preceding maneuver that Eichner got. And I was so happy that wasn't the finish. I'm like, oh, and that's another thing I actually liked about this match. This wasn't your straight up squash match. And I feel like whenever NXT does these, it always seems to kind of fall on the tag division to have those kinds of matches. They gave these guys time, more than I thought they would. And then the double team finish, the power bomb into the bridging German. Oh my God, dude. Like,
I love that finish. Yeah. That was a great finish.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I know Javaris said in chat earlier, like, that Forgotten Sons bore the shit out of him. I'm still a fan of Forgotten Sons. I'm not abandoning any ships. I don't want to get it twisted. But I do feel like the pecking order just changed because I immediately fell in love with these two. Immediately. I want them in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I want them in that.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely starting to build towards that with the sort of emergence of Mendoza and Carrillo, and plus now this team, Forgotten Sons. They're definitely padding out the tag team division, and that's also, obviously, it's going to be partially to be able to withstand the loss of Heavy Machinery. And I also forgot Street Profits returning, too, because they've been gone for a little while. But them back and all this other stuff going on, it seems like they're padding out the tag division to set up for a new Dusty Classic, which, let's be fair, the last Dusty Classic, if I remember correctly, culminated in like June of last year, didn't it?
I believe you're right.
I'm Googling. Fuck it.
Yeah, while you're doing that.
No, it actually culminated in April of last year, so it's getting close.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I am here for it. These two guys who I've been.
Oh, that's right, because the big triple threat at TakeOver New Orleans was for the tag titles and the Dusty Classic.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And Undisputed Era won it all that night.
They did. Oh my god.
And you know, that is one thing too that I did like about the Streets Profits promo, which kind of walking back a little bit, was that they did mention all these teams. They even mentioned Carrillo and Mendoza.
Yeah.
So, you know, like just,
and Montez did this great like hand motion dance thing to be like, oh yeah, they're ninjas.
Yeah, so like you can tell that they're probably going to be like this really high flying, exciting babyface team. And I can't wait to see more of Carrillo when he has a match that can get time. But, you know, bringing it back to Bartel and Eichner, which is, again, two polar opposite teams. Like, I can already see Carrillo and Mendoza versus Eichner and Bartel. And that's a fucking great match to me. Because opposites like that, I think, always make for exciting matches. And, yeah, I am just thrilled with these guys. I fucking love it. So happy to see Marcel on NXT TV. That's where he deserves to be. And yeah, I just way to ring in 2019 the right way, NXT. I am smitten. This team is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty great. I love too that like not only are we getting more teams, but it's a wide variety too. Because like Dawkins and Ford Street Profits are like the athletic kind of, you know, flashy kind of team. And then you've got Carrillo and Mendoza, who bring like that lucha style and do some crazy shit that you've never seen before. Then you've got these guys bringing that technical style. Plus you've got War Raiders with the power game. I just love the variety that we have in the NXT tag division right now.
Dude, abso-freaking-lutely. They get the win with the powerbomb bridging German combo. I've got nothing else to say about this, man. It was a fun fucking match. And again, credit to Watts. And what was the other guy's last name?
Koonsman, I think.
Kuhneman. Well, just
Koonsman. There was like a Z or an S in there or something.
Koonsman. We'll just say Koonsman. But yeah, Watts and Koonsman, they made Eichner and Bartel look great, and I really have to credit them for that because again, I do want to be better about that in the new year. I feel like I always put it on the guys giving the moves and not so much on the people selling them. And again, spot of the match for me. Bartel's throat chop to Watts. Watts sold it like fucking death. So credit to those guys. Fun match. What came after this, brother?
Well, after this, we got a Kathy Kelly kind of confirmation that Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black have both been removed from the premises. She catches up with Ricochet, who's kind of on his way out of the building. He's pissed. And he says that any respect that he might have had for Johnny Gargano just got super kicked away in that ring. And then he also says that Gargano wants to take my title away. Well, I'm going to take him out.
Yeah, I mean, Ricochet sounding fired up. He's definitely, yeah, I was going to say, he's definitely very pissed, felt very disrespected by Johnny. And dude, if we just get that one-on-one match for TakeOver Phoenix, yes, like that TakeOver Phoenix card, dude, if we get Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet to really round it out, I am fucking here for it because we've already got.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm wondering if Adam Cole is going to be in any matches at all. Like, I would almost hope that we'd get like a triple threat where it's, you know, Cole, Gargano, Ricochet triple threat for the North American title, since I don't know if Cole ever got a proper rematch.
Yeah. And, you know, we'll have to see where Adam Cole fits into the scheme of things because apparently he's promised that it's going to be a golden year for Undisputed Era in 2019.
Yeah, because every year is golden when you're undisputed.
Oh, listen to this guy. So what came after this, man?
After the Kathy Kelly stuff with Ricochet, we find out that the song X by Poppy is a theme song for TakeOver, which I have in my notes because it's like, what? This is even weirder than that time they used a Baby Metal song as a theme for TakeOver. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really wasn't expecting it. When you told me who it was, I'm like, wait, who? And then we talked about the YouTuber Nightmind that did a video on Poppy, and I'm like, oh, that woman. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. There's some like genuinely disturbing shit on her channel.
I mean, I just love to, and that's how you know NXT is its own distinct brand because the music choices for pay-per-view themes are so contrary to
what
you
can tell it's influenced by Triple H.
Big time, because the main roster stuff, it very seldom does it have like a rock or kind of hard vibe.
It's very Poppy, which is ironic because that's literally her name.
Yeah, exactly. So just great stuff from NXT. And yeah, what came after this?
After this, we got a recap of Riddle Ono last week with Ono attacking Riddle after the match. And then we got an interview with Sarah Schreiber interviewing Keith Lee.
Yes. And Keith Lee says he's traveled many roads with Matt Riddle. And, Matt Riddle's a dear friend. And, he saw what Cassius Ono pulled. And if you would like to try it with him, next week, Keith Lee's going to teach him to bask in his glory. So it seems like we're going to get Keith Lee and Ono in a match.
Yep.
And, Ashton, what do you think about that?
I'm excited about that, man. I love the way these guys work, and they probably have really good chemistry with each other, if I had to guess. Very excited for that next week. And we will be live reacting to next week's episode of NXT, so that should be fun.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. We will be live reacting to NXT next week.
It's on the schedule, to be fair.
Yeah, it is on the schedule. Look at Ashton's Spin Tweet, guys. I'll be saying that again before the end of this review. But what came after this promo?
After the promo was our third and final match of the night, the main event of the evening, EC3 versus Adam Cole, baby.
I know you're a fan of both of these guys. So what did you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Really, it's not that I'm like a big fan of EC3. It's more like I just don't dislike him like I thought I would, and he had a really strong connection with the crowd, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his moveset is kind of crazy though. Like he has this one move that's like a reverse headlock, leg sweep neck breaker that like blows my mind every time I see it. And yeah, he just has like a really unconventional move set. And you know who else we said that about a decade and a half ago? It was fucking Cena. So you never know.
Yeah, you really do never know in this business. Solid main event match. I really do like. First of all, I got to give a shout out to Morrow because I feel like I haven't mentioned NXT commentary lately. He did a great job highlighting the importance of this match. Because he mentioned how EC3 does own a prior victory over Cole. But one line that he said that I like is he said, hey, even though we know that EC3 is getting called up to either Raw or SmackDown, we don't know when that's happening, and neither does EC3. So he's kind of saying that EC3 is staying in the present. Like, I know I'm getting called up, but that may not be for like another, I don't know, throw a number out there, 5 months. So if I beat Adam Cole, I can still win NXT gold down here while I'm serving my time down in developmental.
Serving my time? That sounds terrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, actually, when you really think about the quality of NXT relative to everything else, but you get what I mean. I'm not going to busy dawdling on semantics. But
I'm paying the dues.
Yeah, I do like, though, that Morrow highlighted that. Like, we don't know when that call-up is coming. We just know that it's happening. So,
I mean,
make
you
every
might
match
like
count.
that he called it that, but it still pisses me off that they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're going to advertise someone getting called up, why do you have to wait months and months and months to do it?
Right.
Like this shit's been getting advertised for like, I'm pretty sure it's going on a month now. And there's no sign of any of them actually showing up on the main roster. Like I guess EC3 squashed Kurt Hawkins on main event this week, but like that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And Lacey lost to Natalia.
Aleister Black. Oh, she lost to Natalia, you said.
Yeah, she lost to Natalia, yeah.
Oh, that's surprising. But yeah, what I was going to say was Aleister Black had a match on main event against Kurt Hawkins before too.
Yeah. I mean, it's Kurt Hawkins. I could beat Kurt Hawkins. That losing streak is so bad. But
you're probably right. I believe in you.
Yeah, thank you.
I would bet all of my money on you.
I mean, that actually makes two of us in this case because he's just so pathetic. You should probably quit, But no,
try and go get those sweet AEW contracts with him.
Yeah, really. But no, I do like though that Morrow, because he doesn't make the rules. He's just trying to follow them as best he can. He does highlight, don't sleep on this match. Don't act like, it's a loss on the way out to bigger and better things. No, every win matters. And I think he definitely highlighted the significance of this match. That said, though, it didn't matter for EC3 because Undisputed Era was a bit overwhelming. He took out the outside distraction.
The numbers game, John!
The numbers game. See, you should add Mark Schoeneman in your corner, EC3. None of this would have happened.
Yeah, that's true. He would have been like, listen, there are 4 of them. There's only one of you. You shouldn't be in this match unless you get help.
Yeah, exactly. Mark would have been like,
Schoeneman, best corner man this side of Paul Heyman.
Exactly. Mark would have been like, bitch, do the math.
That's a great catchphrase. Let's put that shit on a t-shirt.
that you could get on Teespring now. But no, Adam Cole won with the last shot, gets the victory. To me, again,
thanks to a lot of interference. And the cool thing is, like, EC3 hit a power bomb, so it's not like he hit the 1%er and was about to win. He just hit a power bomb, and the Undisputed freaks out. They're just like, "No, Adam Cole, no!" Just immediately jump the ring, start beating up or distracting, I should say, distracting EC3, and it's just enough that he turns around into a super kick, which leads to the last shot.
Isn't that really how the entire cult reacts when something happens to Adam Cole?
Oh, of course. I was doing my best me impersonation.
Oh, okay. But yeah, man, like I said, solid main event. Personally, I preferred Nikki and Bianca to this of the double main event, but that's
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that you preferred both other matches to this because you love Barthel and Eichner so much too.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Cole, though, what a handsome son of a bitch. But yeah, really the more compelling story to me here was the post match, because they're putting the boots to EC3 like, yeah, Undisputed Era territory, you know, this is ours, we're taking it. And then War Raiders music hits. I
love War Raiders theme song and everything else about them too.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna actually hand this off to you. What did you think of this beatdown? Like, walk us through it here.
Dude, Hanson is just the best thing.
Yeah.
Hanson, like, it's so funny because Hanson is the bigger of the two, the more athletic of the two. He's not necessarily the talker of the two. It's almost like a Tyler Bate Trent Seven dynamic in that way. But like they charge the ring and immediately go after. It's 2-on-4. It's the two of them versus all four members of Undisputed Era because EC3 is down and out. Like, he's not helping at all. And like, I think it was Bobby Fish clotheslined Rowe over the top rope, and it was down to just O'Reilly and Strong versus Hanson in the ring because Rowe kind of tossed Adam Cole aside and did some did a number on him. So it came down to Hanson, Strong, and O'Reilly. And O'Reilly and Strong were setting up for their tag finish, the high-low. And then Hanson cartwheeled out of it, grabbed them both by the throat, ripped the chain off of one of their necks, and then like just took out both of them out. I don't even remember what the exact sequence was for him to actually take them out, but like, I just love this dude. He is so entertaining. He's so intense. He's so athletic for a guy his size. I just freaking love Hanson, man.
Dude, these guys are intense as fuck, and I'm here for it.
And they're a perfect tag team because they really do kind of complete each other in the sense that like they cover each other's weaknesses, you know?
Yeah, and like, I'm not trying to, I mean, I guess you can't say that you're not trying to dig and then do a dig. That's just kind of worse. But I love that Heavy Machinery is getting called up because we pretty much get the better version of it now, getting the push that they deserve. And dude.
Heavy Machinery were made obsolete as soon as War Raiders stepped into the scene.
But then NXT wrapped up that business quickly, and so there was never like any conflict, which is really nice because now they can have the stage themselves. I mean, dude, you and I have been watching War Raiders for, I mean, it's not hyperbolic to say years. You know, we've seen them in ROH, we've seen them in New Japan, and now they're here. Yep. I love the.
I think we've honestly been keeping up with them as a tag team since their inception.
Yeah, it's a really cool feeling, and I love the finishing sequence here with Rowe getting the power slam and power bomb combination, and then they just grab another. I think this was Kyle that was the victim of this with the back suplex position, but then the leg drop. That double team, their finish.
Yeah, it was because his reaction while they had him up was hilarious.
Oh, Kyle, will you ever not emote when you're in peril?
Nope. He's so good. I love him.
Him in that face.
I know, it's so good.
It has like 80 different emotions. That's like 70 more than most people.
And he's capable of displaying 20 at once.
Oh my god. If I could get my bearings together thinking about Kyle O'Reilly doing just that. No, dude, War Raiders are legit as fuck. And again, now that we're at this main event, now I feel like I could talk more openly a little bit about the TakeOver Phoenix card. Because, I mean, listen to this, dude. We got Black Ciampa 2.
Which is huge.
Which is going to be fucking huge and awesome. Bianca Belair versus Shayna, which
is a big deal for Bianca for sure.
Hell yeah. And I think that could actually be like a sleeper of a women's match relative to other women's matches on takeovers. I think those two could really stand out.
Yeah, I even have something in my notes about how Bianca did some really impressive athletic shit in her match with Nikki. Like she did basically the UHA combination. You know, UHA Nation, now known as Apollo Crews, back on the indies, he would do the overhead gorilla press slam or gorilla press drop, however you want to call it, into the moonsault, but then he would follow it up with a shooting star. She did everything but the shooting star. She did the moon press, the gorilla press drop into the moonsault. That's so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not even just saying like it's impressive for a woman. Like it's impressive when Apollo fucking Crews does it. Of course it's impressive when she does it.
Absolutely. And so we got that. War Raiders.
I think different aspects of it are impressive though, because like with Apollo, I think it's more impressive that he can do a moonsault at his size. But with Bianca, the power is the impressive thing.
Yeah, definitely. Her
she is not a big girl by any means. Like she's got muscles, no doubt about it. And she's got tone and definition. She does not look like the kind of powerhouse that would be able to lift another woman over her head.
Yeah.
And then here she is. She does it. I'm really looking forward to seeing her do that to Shayna, actually. That'd be a really interesting visual.
Dude, it's like I said back in May, back in May of last year, because I actually hunted the YouTube video down. When she did that deadlift military press to Candice,
yeah,
all I could think about in my head was her doing it to Shayna. I said that right on the podcast.
I remember that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And it's still in my freaking head, and we are so close to getting it. I hope they do that in this match. I really do. I may even be a bit disappointed if they don't, honestly. But
I'll be very disappointed if she doesn't do that to her.
But so we got that women's match, which I think, again, relative to other women's takeover matches, I don't want people sleeping on this one. I do think they could do something special. Then you got the tag titles, War Raiders, Undisputed Era. I mean, my God. Like I have been saying, Undisputed Era cracked my top 5 in my NXT Fave 5. They've been bringing the best matches out of everybody.
Son of a bitch.
You mean you intelligent son of a bitch, and you're pouty because you didn't do it first.
I know. You don't need to rub it in.
Sucks to suck.
Oh God, we really need to get more MJF promos.
But no. In all seriousness though, I've credited this team for bringing out the best matches in people. So then when you get them with a team that's already so fucking good, yes. And then, dude, if we can assume so Ciampa Black. Yep. Bianca Shayna.
Yep.
War Raiders Undisputed Era. And then if you can assume
Gargano Ricochet.
Holy fuck.
That's only 4 matches though. What's left? Dream?
Well, yeah, I would think maybe Velveteen Dream. Oh God, but I don't want to leave Riddle or Keith Lee off a card, but maybe they'll have to be. I don't know. But yeah, dude, it's maybe Dream will take on Adam Cole. God, that'd be a very interesting matchup to me. Baby, yeah. But because NXT Takeover cards traditionally are like what, 5 matches?
Yeah.
5. So, but dude,
there have been 4-match cards before. I'm not going to take that away.
But dude, if this is just a 4-match card, this has the potential. And I'm not even trying to be hyperbolic here, but just on paper, this has potential to be one of the best takeovers of all time. And maybe even something that could give Wrestle Kingdom 13 a run for its money. I don't know. Wrestle Kingdom 13, I fucking adored that show.
How hilarious is that, though, that we love that show so much after being so, like, apprehensive about it, I want to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, all it takes is one. You know, like, all it takes is one really good show. And they're starting to have a great 2019. But NXT, if this is the first takeover of 2019... wrestling isn't playing around right now. Between AEW, New Japan killing it with Wrestle Kingdom, NXT about to kill it with this, presumably, because again, NXT is the one promotion where on paper, I'm pretty confident to just go with on paper. And Lucha.
Well, and even then, like even when it doesn't look amazing on paper, they still manage to pull great shit out of their asses.
Yeah. The main roster's got the Royal Rumble going for it, so that's good timing with everything that's going on.
And even if like they didn't have the Royal Rumble matches to fall back on, those women's matches though,
dude, yeah.
Sasha, Ronda, and Becky Asuka, come on now,
yeah, dude, fuck yeah. And then whenever Lucha Underground Season 5 is gonna drop, I mean, 2019 may kick.
Dude, I mean, here's my thing. I'm more looking forward to just an announcement, like
yeah.
It's just like Lucha Underground Season 5 won't happen. I just want some kind of finality. I want to know.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, even just for this month alone, that started out great with Wrestle Kingdom 13, and the momentum looks to be continuing with
Well,
Takeover.
the New Beginning, I think, is later this month, isn't it? Doesn't
I think you're right about that. Yeah,
from January into February.
I think you're right about that. Yeah,
I'm gonna look up the New Japan schedule. Let's see. Oh, Fantastica Mania is going to be happening here in like a day or two.
and that's AAA, right? Or is that CMLL?
Well, it's New Japan CMLL working together co-op show.
Oh, okay.
Road to the New Beginning is in January. New Beginning in the USA is in California in the Globe Theater, and that is on January 30th, I believe. It's a three-day thing. Wait, what? I'm confused, guys, because it says it's Wednesday, January 30th, Friday, February 1st, Saturday, February 2nd, but then New Beginning in Sapporo is Saturday, February 2nd, and Sunday, February 3rd. How many New Beginnings are there going to be?
I mean, hell, I don't think New Japan even needs that many New Beginnings with how well they're doing right now.
I mean, what is this? A Michael McGillicuddy promo with all these starts and beginnings?
Yeah. Oh my God.
We'll figure it out later.
We will, but regardless, dude, that card is looking legit as fuck. This NXT episode was legit as fuck, especially with the way that it ended. I'm definitely a fan of everything happening right now in the world of wrestling. It's a good time to be a fan right now to me. Everybody seems to be stepping up their game. And even if you still want to take projects in the main roster, which I've been prone to do, I can't even be so mad because, one, Seth looked fucking great on Monday, which builds up the Rumble. And for SmackDown, dude, just Andrade getting his first win of 2019. Yes, preach it, brother, man, preach it. But yeah, I mean, dude,
El Ídolo.
Yes.
Did you see their little like promo after the match?
Oh, where they're just like the year of Tranquilo has begun, like on the YouTube channel?
Yes.
I did, dude. Oh, did I see it? Hell yes. You know you and I are the big Andrade stands here. Dude, I can't fucking wait for his 2019. And that's the thing. Like, if TWitWoW's about the positivity, it is a good time to be us because wrestling is genuinely like, I don't have to dig. I don't have to saw at the bottom of the barrel just to dig for anything positive. It's
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty plentiful right now. And I would like them to keep it up and we shall see. But in the meantime, we got one more segment left. High spots and low shots. But before that, guys, you know I like to take this time to give our plugs. So first and foremost, check out the TWitWoW Facebook page. We got some new likes on it recently, so I want to keep plugging it. You know, leave a like. You'll get TWitWoW updates there. And you can also like inbox us with your Q&A questions. More on that in a moment. Follow Ashton on Twitter. He has the TWitWoW schedule for the month of January up. So if you want to know what we're doing, what recordings may be redacted or moved or added, which is always most likely the case, you know, you're going to want to follow his pinned tweet, keep up with all the latest news on TWitWoW commentaries. Ashton's Twitter is the way to do it. My Twitter, on the other hand, my pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Q&A this month, I'm pulling up my calendar now, is at the end of January, January 31st. It's the last Thursday of every month. Falls on the end of the month. January 31st will be our next TWitWoW Q&A. Now, the way we've broken Q&A down, first of all, you can submit your questions either to my pinned tweet, because again, I see all your replies there. You can DM me. You can comment on this video when it's done processing. You can inbox our Facebook page, or you can submit your questions to the TWitWoW Discord. Now, about the Discord. If you are a non-Patreon donor, and I outline this explicitly in the pinned tweet, you are permitted up to 3 questions per Q&A. But if you've donated to the Patreon and you've financially supported Team TWitWoW, you get up to 5 questions per Q&A. So depending on what class you fall in, that's how many Q&A questions you are afforded. You can divide your questions up however you want and pretty much ask us anything you do want unless we tell you otherwise, like, oh, you know, we haven't seen it or, you know, anything like that, because we have had that happen, you know, a few times. No harm, no foul. So that's Q&A. And if you're thinking, well, I would like 5 Q&A questions, how do I do that? Well, you know, you can donate to the Patreon, and really it's a very straightforward donation of $3, because that's the amount it takes to get access to the TWitWoW Discord, a wonderful fan server with the most passionate fans of TWitWoW, where we discuss everything from wrestling to games to movies. Hell, if you can think of it, we're probably already talking about it on the Discord, and we'd love to welcome you. And if you're thinking to yourself, you know, fan server, that's nice and all. I'm already a part of so many of those, though. Like, what makes this one any different? What about me? What about Raven? Well, the more you donate and the more you renew your TWitWoW membership, the more those donations accrue in what we like to call a TWitWoW account. Ashton has it outlined, on the Discord, how much, what the balance of each donor is. And the more money that's in your account, the more your possibilities broaden. Because, I always like to give the example, if you donate $3 a month for 10 months, that's $30. You can cash all $30 in at once for a live reaction to a 3-hour show. And so, yeah, you're pretty much getting content control with your TWitWoW account up to a certain point. That I think it leads to a lot of possibilities, leads to a lot of fun on all sides of the aisle. And I personally think it's very cool. And also, as well, I want to mention that as a community, the kind of, TWitWoW community on Patreon, you're helping broaden your own options for what we just do month to month. Now, this month is going to be very interesting because we did a vote and it came out that we're going to be doing both NXT live reactions and Impact Wrestling live reactions, but we're breaking them up. How's it going to work, Ashton? The first 2 weeks are Impact, or are we alternating weeks? How about you explain to our audience how this is all going down?
We're doing Impact every Friday for the remainder of the month. There are going to be 3 episodes. It's going to be Friday the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th. And we are doing the next 2 episodes of NXT.
Okay, so there you guys have it. We're doing Impact for the rest of the month and the next 2 episodes of NXT, all thanks to your support and your votes. And just to give a breakdown, guys, our goal is 120. We didn't reach that goal this month, but if we did reach $120, we would be live reacting to 3 hours of wrestling content every week for the following month. So that's how it all goes down. I think it's a wonderful system. So if you can donate, we greatly appreciate it. Obviously, no pressure. And finally, quick shout out to the TWitWoW Teespring store. All of your best merchandise offerings in one convenient place. We have everything from TWitWoW specific merch, including shirts with the opening line of "Welcome to," and the best, and that whole thing that I do at the start. Also, I'm a TWitWoW guy, I'm a TWitWoW girl. If you want people to know the podcasts that you rep, as well as wrestler specific merch, we had a Tranquilo shirt, which seems to be, quite poignant right now, given that Andrade got his first win of 2019 and LIJ dominated Wrestle Kingdom 13. If you want to get on this bandwagon while it is heating the fuck up, the Tranquilo shirt is the shirt for you. We also have plenty of other wrestling offerings, all at the Teespring. And with those plugs, guys, let's transition into our high spots and low shots segment, with my low shot being Ricochet. Came in talking big, having the swagger, the smile, the gold, but he got embarrassed by Johnny Gargano tonight. The first salvo was fired, and I think Johnny got a psychological edge over the North American champion. If they are going to have a match at TakeOver Phoenix, which you and I have already kind of mentally penciled in, Johnny's already a little bit ahead of Ricochet here, in the psychological game. I mean, he left saying that any respect I have for Johnny is gone. Clearly, Johnny has rattled him. And yeah, it was a rough night for the North American champion, so he's going to be my low shot.
It's kind of funny because I'm taking my low shot from that opening segment as well. My low shot is the champ himself, Ciampa Daddy. Tommaso Ciampa showed up, tried to egg, Johnny and Ricochet on, really mostly Johnny, tried to egg Johnny on, and ended up getting, I believe, Black masked in the face for his troubles.
Yeah. It seemed like he caught him with some type of roundhouse kick, which was really, really cool. And yeah, man, I really enjoyed that segment. I thought it came off great. My high spot, you know what? It's our podcast. We do what we want, right? My high spot's going to be the new team of Bartel and Eichner. I freaking love these guys. I know it was a nothing match against a nothing team. That isn't to say they didn't do their jobs well. I'm just saying in terms of prestige and name, they are jobbers. They are the local competitors. But I just love that these 2 guys are getting a chance to do something. I hope they're not NXT UK exclusive. And I guess them even performing tonight would show that that's not the case, which great. Because, I want to see these guys against Carrillo and Mendoza.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see these guys against, War Raiders, everybody. Especially Bartel. If tag teams are meant to be catapults for single stars, let this be the one for Marcel, please. The dude is so good in there. But of course, best case scenario would be both guys, be a launching pad for both. But I do love that they're a team. They're going to be my high spot. So, Ashton, who is your high spot?
My high spot, believe it or not, and you all know how my Adam Cole thing works, but my high spot after him is going to be Bianca Belair picking up a huge win over a long-standing rival in Nikki Cross, gaining that momentum going into TakeOver Phoenix.
Great choice, man, all around. That does it for high spots, low shots, and that also does it for TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-ordinating commentary action. Guys, be sure to comment on this video when it's done processing. What do you think of the new team of Bartel and Eichner? Which tag teams are you looking forward to being showcased in 2019? We know Street Profits are returning next week. What tag team are you really keeping your eye on, old or new, in the new year? What do you think about Undisputed Era? Do you think they're going to make good on their promise of a golden year? Started with Adam Cole beating EC3, getting a little bit of that momentum. How far do you think they'll be able to carry it? What do you think about everything going on with Gargano and Ciampa? Was it only a one-time thing, or did that PCS mean something? Talk to us, talk to us, talk to us. Be sure to like the video. If you haven't, the more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Subscribe to your new favorite wrestling podcast if you haven't, and click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that sweet, sweet TWitWoW goodness. And guys, we will see you again on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time for our first ever, God, bringing in 2019 right? Because we're doing this new territory. First ever Impact Wrestling Live Reactions Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And given the controversy seemingly of Impact Homecoming, with Mundo and Cage and Taya and Tessa and everything, hopefully it's a great first episode to react to for the month. Again, you're looking forward to 3 episodes of that, pretty much rounding out the month with Impact Wrestling Live Reactions. It all starts Friday at 10. Until then, guys, tune in and peace out.